Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today we're going to be discussing shamanic journeying. How to do it, what is it? Is this something that everyone can do? I don't know why, I randomly got this urge to film this video. I looked up on YouTube how to shamanic journey and I felt like a lot of the information there was lacking. There wasn't really that much information. And then the people who were very direct on how to shamanic journey, I disagreed with some of the things that they said. So this is just a video from my own perspective and experiences, how you can shamanic journey, and hopefully this will help you let go of some fears and doubts about it and help you understand it a little bit better. Now I know some of you guys might be thinking I'm a little bit young to be talking about this because most shamans, shamanic teachers are older, they've been doing this for years. I get it. But I want to let you guys know that this is something that everyone can and should do. We all have the freedom to have our own personal relationship with spirit. You don't have to go to a church and have someone else tell you what your spirit guides or God or spirit or anything like that. You don't have to go to someone else to have a relationship. In fact, the universe, spirit, your spirit guides, your higher self, Earth itself, all of the lovely creatures on Earth, they want to have a one-to-one relationship with you directly, okay? They don't want to have a relationship with you where you only get information from them through someone else. They want to have that personal, interpersonal connection with you. So I feel like this is something anyone, any conscious age, any gender, any race, I don't care who you are, this is something you can do. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of shamanic journeying and shamans in general. For those of you who might not be familiar, shamanism is the world's oldest spiritual practice that we are consciously aware of, okay? I believe I heard a statistic saying somewhere around 40,000 years ago to 100,000 years ago was the earliest findings of shamanism. And the funny thing about shamanism is it's found in every single continent, in almost every single culture, historically and to this day. It's found in Asia, Australia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America. It is found everywhere and is still prominent in indigenous cultures today. And I feel that shamanism also comes through in modern Western societies, you know? The whole witchy paganism thing is being kind of rejuvenated and reborn. That's a form of shamanism, okay? You're communicating with gods and goddesses and nature spirits. What else? Every day, well, I'm not going to say every psychic and tarot reader, but a lot of them are bringing forth a form of shamanism without having that word attached to it. So this is something that, regardless of what you call it, repeats in history time after time, because we all have the connection to spirit, okay? And if you're watching this, you can connect to spirit too. So just get that fear out of your head. If you're asking, well, I don't know if I'm a shaman, I don't know if I should go down the spiritual path, you should, and you are. We all are on the inside, okay? Some people might be more energetically and spiritually sensitive and it might come easier to them, and some other people might have to work harder to get it. But we all have psychic abilities, we all have shamanic abilities, and we all can and should shamanic journey. So I just wanted to clarify that right off the bat. With that being said, what is shamanic journeying specifically? Shamanic journeying is traveling to the spiritual realms, other realms, different worlds, to communicate with spirit guides, the nature spirits, the lower spirits, everything, to dive consciously into our unconscious mind and dive into past lives. There's so much you can do. Any information that you want to receive, no matter how out there or impossible it might seem to reach, you can get that information through shamanic journeying. So that is why, and you know, people have historically always used shamanic journeying to solve problems. You know, shamans would use shamanic journeying to figure out where to migrate to get food. They would use it on a practical level to help their village, their community, all that stuff. It also helps you dive deep into your own spirit and the spirit of others and find what area needs healing and how you do that healing. You can communicate with your past loved ones and ancestors. You can communicate with darker spirits and aliens if you want. The possibilities are limitless because the spiritual realm is infinite. There's infinite possibilities for what you can do. There are different methods as to how one starts shamanic journeying and the process and ritual one goes through to begin shamanic journeying. I am just going to share my personal method. So a lot of people will tell you that in order to begin shamanic journeying, you have to have drumming, like a repetitive drum that puts your mind in an altered state, an altered, what is it called, wavelength? Or repetitive like rattles or some type of musical instrument that's giving a repetitive rhythm. And that is helpful, but I do want to clarify that you don't need that if you don't want to use it. The whole point of the drumming and the music and the rattles and tools like that to help put your mind in an altered state is to calm you down and calm your breathing. But I want to remind you all of our most primal drum of all is our heartbeat. So you don't need any tools to shamanic journey if you do not have them. Although if you're watching on YouTube, I will say that you can look up shamanic drumming if you would like to shamanic journey to drums or rattles or something like that, shamanic music, whatever. That might actually, especially if you have anxiety, that might help you relax you, just so you're not like in dead quiet trying to do this, okay? I noticed that music tends to help me down if I'm feeling particularly anxious. So if you have anxiety, that might be a good idea, but you don't have to do that, okay? And that is one thing I want to clarify from other videos. A lot of people were saying you need drumming or instruments to get into this altered state of consciousness, and you actually don't. But if you're not using it, and even if you are using music, I want to walk you through how to begin. So make sure you are in a quiet and comfortable place where you feel at ease. A lot of people might find their bedroom when they're alone to be a nice quiet place. Sometimes I shamanic journey when I'm in the bathtub because it's just relaxing and quiet, okay? Whatever is most comfortable for you, wherever you feel most at ease and with minimal distractions, that is the place you want a shamanic journey. You could also do it out in nature if you want, whatever. Now, once you are there and you are ready to begin your shamanic journey, I want you to take several minutes to breathe deeply. If you watch a lot of my videos, I sometimes walk you through this process before pick a card readings or any spiritual thing we're doing. You breathe deeply for several minutes and just relax your muscles. Calm the breath into a natural, calm rhythm. Sometimes we breathe really fast without thinking about it, and we're real tense without thinking about it. Take a few mindful minutes of relaxing and let today's thoughts and worries exit your mind and just focus on how it feels to breathe. Listen to the sounds you might hear in the distance, the birds chirping, children playing in the distance. And just put yourself in the present moment. Put yourself in your body for a few minutes. And that honestly has about the same effect that drumming has as well, and all of, the musical instruments you might want to shamanic journey to. So if you don't have access to musical instruments, you can still do it. Or if you want to shamanic journey on a whim and you don't have the resources to look up music for it, you don't have to do it, okay? Just breathe and relax. Because you don't want to start shamanic journeying from a place where you're feeling scatterbrained. It'll be really hard to focus. You just want to kind of calm your brain down. The next thing I want you to do, especially if you're just getting started into shamanic journeying, is to set an intention for your trip. What information do you want to uncover? What spirits do you want to talk to? Again, the potential is limitless. You could set the intention, I want to meet my totem animal. I think that's a really great first shamanic trip to take, is to find out what your totem animal is. A totem animal is an animal that will spiritually protect you and be with you, and you're kind of one and the same. Your spirit correlates to that animal. And I always personally like to shamanic journey with my tiger totem animal. It just makes you feel more at peace. So that's a good first intention to set if you want. Or perhaps your intention is to contact your higher self. Perhaps your intention is to contact angels or your spirit guides, whatever the case may be. Or maybe even just visit your own personal Garden of Eden where you can do a lot of spiritual healing and things. There's so many different possibilities. I recommend looking up Guided Shamanic Journey if you can on YouTube, if they have any. That will help you get a feel of what the idea is, okay? Now, I do have one thing I want to clarify. One of the biggest blocks that can come up when you're trying a shamanic journey, though there's a few of them and I want to go over them, but one of the biggest ones is feeling like it's not real, like you're making it all up. I want to clarify that. Have you ever daydreamed? I'm sorry if I'm a little scattered. Have you ever daydreamed? You know, just let your mind wander. That is the same energy that shamanic journeying uses, okay? You know, you ever have like conversations in your head with your own thoughts, just organizing your thoughts, or just visualizing something, or what else? There's so many different ways people daydream. Some people will shamanic journey and daydream very visually, where like in their minds they see like, you know, the scene being played out. Sometimes it could be auditory, so you don't even see anything, and you know, it's like your spirit guides are just talking to you with words, but you don't see anything. Other times you can just feel the message and feel what's right and what's being communicated, feel what's taking place. You know, sometimes you just know, like you go to a shamanic journey and you have your intention, and then you just kind of know what the answer is. The 5 psychic senses, that is what we use to shamanic journey. And when you're first getting started, you might not have super strong psychic senses with all 5 of them, okay? Don't go in it with expectations. If you're not visually seeing a scene in your mind's eye, that's okay. If you're just kind of like having this shamanic journey be played out through words, almost like you're reading a book or like you're having a conversation, and you know, it's like words are narrating it, that's fine too, or even just feelings, that's fine too. Don't go in it with judgments. A lot of people aren't going to visually see the scene being played out if that's not your strongest psychic sense. For me personally, that is my strongest psychic sense. So when I go through shamanic journeying, a lot of it is visualization, okay? So when I explain how to do it, I might use words like visualize, just take it and run with it. Whatever shows up in your shamanic journey, just act as if it's the truth and you're connecting to the truth. Your imagination and your daydreaming is an actual portal. You're actually hopping into different realms, whether you realize it or not. And when we shamanic journey, we're essentially doing the same thing, but with more intention and consciousness. So keep that in mind. It's going to feel like you're making it up at first. I can guarantee you, no matter how spiritually minded you are when you first start shamanic journeying, it's almost going to feel like you're just making it up and you're a crazy person, okay? And what I would recommend is just accepting that and being open-minded to the experiments. Be like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm just making this up, but we're just going to go with it and see what happens, okay? So just carry that attitude, and you will see that in the future, some of the things that you shamanic journeyed, some of the information you've got, the advice you've gotten from spirit guides, whatever you did on your shamanic journey, you will notice in the future that there were truths in that and some synchronicities that come up from, you know, your shamanic journeying, and then it like kind of happens in the future, or that advice applies to you in the future. You know, weird things like that. Let it prove itself to you. But in the meantime, don't get so caught up in, oh, I'm just making this all up, I'm doing it wrong. No, I can guarantee you, you are doing it right, okay? Everything you receive in your shamanic journey is a truth. Just pretend. Okay, just if you don't believe it, just pretend. Just be like, well, this is good fun, okay? I'm just gonna try it and have an open mind and just see if the advice that I'm given, or, you know, the spirit animal I meet, I'm just gonna see what it is and have fun with it. You don't have to believe in it. That will be your #1 blocker, okay, is by saying, I'm not doing it right, when in reality you are, okay? It takes time to build that trust in yourself and your visions, trust me. Description over. You've done your breathing, you set your intention, Now close your eyes, and you can be sitting, laying down, whatever is most comfortable for you. Personally, whenever I shamanic journey, it tends to be laying down, actually before I go to bed. So I'll go to bed a little bit early before I'm actually tired, and then I'll, you know, shamanic journey and have fun, and then I'll go to sleep. So that's just, it's a nice relaxed time. Just do it at a relaxing time in the day where you don't have like a million things piled up that you're worried about. Anyways, so close your eyes, and I want you to begin to visualize or imagine in any way, visualize or imagine in any way you standing in the room in which you are, okay? Your eyes are closed. I want you to imagine that you're in the room outside of your body. Your body's laying on the bed, in the chair, wherever you're at, and you are now in the room, and you can, you know, look around if you see anything. If you think and imagine and visually, you can just look around at your surroundings. If this is more of an auditory thing, you can hear your surroundings. If it's just a feeling, you can feel your surroundings. Whatever senses are at play, just use them to imagine yourself in your room that you are currently in, okay? Now, the next thing that I want you guys to visualize or think, imagine, is a portal that will take you to the place you want to go, to the spirit you want to visit, to, you know, whatever it is you want with this shamanic journey, okay? There's a portal there. Now this portal could be a big circle with like, I don't know, like a wavy little energy that you walk through. It could be a door with some staircase that will lead you to where you're going. Sometimes, you know what, there's 3 different realms in shamanic journeying, 3 different worlds. This is gonna be a long video. And I noticed that they have different qualities, okay? So just imagine yourself in the beginning going through this portal that takes you to where you're trying to be, okay? And then walk through the portal. Now, whatever comes up in your visualization, imagination, and I'm using the word imagination because during your first shamanic journey, it's probably gonna feel like you're imagining it. So whatever first comes up, just accept it. Don't try changing it. Just accept it, okay? Now, you can also use your consciousness and approach the spirit that you're trying to communicate with or whatever you're trying to do. So I'm gonna give you a play-by-play for how these interactions should work. Now, I want to remind you guys that just because it feels like you're imagining this in your head and it's all fake, you have to act like it is real. When you go up to a spirit, you don't want to just be crazy and act silly, okay? Imagine it in the same sense of you going up to your neighbor's door. You don't just walk in their house and take whatever you need from them. You knock on the door, you're very polite. So when you encounter a spirit, I want you guys to go up to them and ask them very graciously, may I enter your energy? May I step into your energy and be with you at this moment, okay? Ask them for permission first. Consent is everything. That's an important lesson society is currently learning. Consent is everything, and it's respectful. May I enter your energy and your space? Okay, and then they're gonna say yes or no. Now, if they say no in your little imagination, then respect that and then walk away and do something else or go back to your body. Now, if they say yes, then you can enter their energy and their space and their field and the place they live, wherever you're at. And then once you're there, introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Laura, or whatever your name is, just like a regular interaction. And then ask them about themselves first. What is your name? And then, like, even if you don't know their name, what I find happens is that, like, you kind of get it. Like with me, when I'm asking a spirit for their name, it just kind of pops into my head. And the first thing that pops in your head, go with that, okay? Trust what you imagine. Trust what is coming up for you. And then just take it as the truth, okay? Even if it feels silly, even if it still feels like you're pretending, just take that information as the truth. Okay, so they give you their name. Ask them some more questions. Any questions that you genuinely have, like, what is this place? And then the answer they give you, Again, it'll pop in to your mind or imagination. Take that as the truth and continue the conversation. Or even if it might not even come up as a conversation, if you're not clairaudient, it could just be like feelings. Like you have a feeling that the place you're in is their little garden that they live in, or wherever you're at. You might have an intuitive knowing, like without even asking them, like, oh, I'm in your home garden, or wherever you're at, meeting them. So like I said, the 5 psychic senses, this information can come up differently for everyone, okay? They might show you visually, like, here's my garden, and then they might point over to their house, like, this is my spiritual home. Oh my God. So just follow any insights you get and act as if it's the truth, okay? Even if it feels like you're pretending. Now, then the more you kind of build this rapport with them, then you can start asking them for whatever it is you came there for. Oh, hey, I need your help with this question in my life, or this scenario in my life. I was wondering if you could help me and how you can help me, okay? And then, you know, continue the interaction however you want it to be. You know, you have your free will. Just be respectful and remember that manners still exist in the spiritual realm, okay? It's not an anarchy, it's not a free-for-all. Keep your manners. It's such an important thing to remember. Don't just go running around destroying things, because that can make spirits mad, and you don't want spirits mad at you, okay? And also keep in mind that all spirits, well, most spirits have their own free will, just like you and I. They don't have to help you. They don't have to give you answers, okay? Some of the spirits you might encounter in the future of your shamanic journey, they might not be that nice. You might not click with some spirits, just like regular humans in the human realm. What else do I have to tell you? Keep it respectful, and you can, over time, the more you shamanic journey, build special relationships with certain spirits, okay? Like for me personally, I have a special relationship with the goddess Artemis. We're besties. Like, I love her. She loves me. It's great. Shout out. But the god Hermes, Hermes, I still don't know which way to pronounce it. I'm gonna go with Hermes. It sounds so, When I first met him, I acted like a gosh darn fool. Like, and like his energy was just like, okay, well, gotta go. But then the next couple of times I met him in my shamanic journeys, you know, we actually built up a rapport, and he has helped me substantially in the past month with certain things that I wanted help with, and has helped me, you know, gain information that I needed. And so it's really like a real life relationship. The more you shamanic journey, the more you can build these relationships with spirits, okay? Okay. And then when you're finishing up the conversation and you want to, you know, go back to your regular life or go to sleep or whatever, all you have to do is thank them. This is important, and you can thank them throughout the conversation as well. Sometimes I do this to excess. I'm just like, thank you so much for your help. I respect your energy. You know, you don't have to help me if you don't want to. Like, kind of how I do in real life when I'm asking people for help. I'm like, you don't have to help me if you don't want to, but I would appreciate it so much. You're so amazing. Like, just be yourself and have a sense of humor, be lighthearted, and thank them for their help, and thank them for letting you in their energy just like you would in real life with people who help you, okay? And then say goodbye, and then I want you to visualize going back through the portal or back the way you came. If you did some walking around, if you went up and down some staircases or whatever, just go back the way you came, back through the portal, the door, back into the room that you started out in the room your physical body is in, and then back, Jesus, visualize yourself going back into your body, and then here you are again, and you can open your eyes, and we're back in the 3D world. And I also just want to clarify, guys, now, I'm kind of iffy on this. I tend to, like, half the time I shamanic journey, I end up falling asleep in real life, like, and then it actually, I noticed that sometimes when I fall asleep in the middle of a shamanic journey, like, it'll continue into my dream. Is that weird? But I still don't know if that is something that you should or shouldn't do, because there have been times, recently actually, that I was hanging out with Archangel Raphael in my shamanic journey, you know. It was really cool. We were in this little meadow next to a creek, and we were laying in hammocks and just having a good old chat, a good old healing chat. His energy was just healing me, and I was just chatting with him, and he kept reassuring me like, nah, let's just have a little sleepover here. It's fine. I'll stay as long as you want. I want to stay here. It's cool. I ended up actually falling asleep in real life, right? But then I ended up having really bad nightmares. Like, I had a nightmare that my sister cut my head off. And I had a nightmare that this deceased boy visited me and like just dumped his energy on me, like his negative energy on me. The same night I fell asleep in a shamanic journey, and after that I'm like, okay, I should probably never do that again. But now that some time has passed, I actually realized that dream, despite being a nightmare, has helped me heal and realize some of the darker parts of my consciousness. And in a sense, it was Raphael healing me, because he wanted to bring some of the darker feelings that I had and darker thoughts that were in my energy to the surface, so I could be consciously aware of them and work on them, because, you know, you don't want to brush things under the rug. So I think it's fine, totally fine, to fall asleep during a shamanic journey, okay? If you just so happen to, or even during meditation. If this is kind of off subject, but I just want to clarify, like, if you're someone trying to get into meditation as well and you fall asleep, that is a-okay, because if you fall asleep, that means you're genuinely tired, and that is what your spirit needs to be at peace, so that's totally fine. What else? I think I'm gonna finish off this video here. It's been a good introduction on the basics, how to shamanic journey, and again, I want to encourage everyone to shamanic journey and realize that the universe, spirit, your spirit guides, your higher self, the spirits of the trees and the mountains and the creek, it is your divine birthright to have a one-on-one relationship with them, just as a monk or a high shaman has, okay? This is the future of humanity. In the future, when we are evolved, we will all have this personal one-on-one relationship directly with the divine and with the spirit that is in everything. It is your birthright to access that, okay? And I want you guys to not be afraid of shamanic journeying. Embrace it, have fun with it. Even if dark things come up, those dark things are teaching you as well. So just have fun with it. Like, I can't emphasize enough. Safe travels. I love you. Thank you for joining me. This has been a fun, impromptu chat. Subscribe to my channel if you want future spiritual chit chats like this. I also do pick a card tarot readings and weekly psychic readings here as well. If you want a personal psychic reading with me, personal shamanic session with me, the link to that is in the description box. And also, I just recently started doing daily psychic readings for the collective consciousness on my spiritual Instagram. It's called Spirit Psychic. Pretty simple. If you want to go follow that as well. All right, thank you guys. Bye.